Hello everybody, welcome back to New Zealand Mysteries. This is TJ. A big special welcome to lots of new subscribers. Thank you very much for being here. I actually really appreciate each and every one of you. This week, this episode, we're going to look into our series of stories from around the world, and we're going to Indiana in the United States. This video is called Who Started the Fire? 4 Souls Lost in Kokomo, Indiana. I genuinely do not want to cause any hurt or offence to any family members or anyone related to these cases in my videos. I'm just looking at articles on the internet and putting them all into one video, and my reason for doing this is to keep the case alive so people don't forget. I want people to share and like and subscribe and get it into the places it needs to be so people can see the story. Let's have a look. So I thought we'd take a look at Kokomo, Indiana. Kokomo is a city in Indiana and the county seat of Howard County, Indiana, United States. Kokomo's population was 45,468 at the 2010 census, but after multiple rounds of successful annexation, along with regular population growth, the city has grown to approximately 58,000 by 2019, thus making it as Indiana's 15th largest city. And if you're not from the United States, or whether you are, I'm going to have a look at where this is. So this is the United States. Of course, here is Indiana. And if my computer doesn't muck this up, because I'm not working on anything very great. And there is Kokomo there. So you can see it's just a way out from Indianapolis. Right, let's get into the story. Our first place we're looking at is firehouse.com. This is February 21st, 2005. Woman and 3 children die in Indiana house fire. Fire swept through an Indiana home on Sunday, killing a woman and 3 children after the woman's husband jumped from a second-story window. Firefighters arrived to find the home engulfed in heavy smoke and flames. Neighbours said Michael Parrish, 37, was outside screaming that his family remained inside the burning house. Poor guy. Fire crews later found Amy Parrish along with her 2 sons, aged 4 and 2, and 11-year-old stepson. The 4 were later pronounced dead from smoke inhalation. Oh gosh, that's absolutely awful. Michael Parrish was reported in stable condition after undergoing surgery. Investigators had not determined what sparked the fire, but said the home had no working smoke detectors. It's very upsetting. We can't stress enough that smoke detectors do make a difference, said Dave Duncan, fire chief in Kokomo, which is about 45 miles north of Indianapolis. Definitely smoke detectors are very, very important. The next place we're going to is Kokomo Perspective.com. Police seeking leads in arson deaths. People at residence before fire giving differing testimony. Police are still searching for leads in a fire that killed a woman and 3 children more than 6 weeks ago. It's still actively being investigated, said Pat O'Neill, arson investigator for the Kokomo Fire Department. Members of the KPD are now actively seeking community input. Nothing's changed, said Captain Greg Davis of the Kokomo Police Department. We're doing all that we can to proceed and wait for the leads to turn up. People talk, and we're hoping that's the case here. On February 21st, the Kokomo Fire Department responded to the house fire in the 800 block of South Bell Street. One of the house's residents survived after falling through a second-story window, but his wife and the house's 3 children all perished. Within a day, the KFD announced that arson was the cause of the blaze, making it a quadruple homicide case. O'Neill said when arson results in serious injury or death, the KPD acts as lead investigator. KPD Chief Russell Ricks said arson investigations are difficult because most crime scene evidence is turned to ash. And we definitely know that if it's burnt to ash, there is barely any evidence left for anything. It's very damaging. Davis said a small gathering of friends and neighbours were at the house the night before the fire. Davis placed the number at about 6 or 7 adults altogether, including the house's residents. He continues, "It was not at all a large gathering," he said. Davis said those at the house have been interviewed. No one has been eliminated as a suspect. Interviews with the house's visitors have turned up some inconsistencies, David said. Some of the inconsistencies concerned the deceased woman, Amy Parrish, where she was at in the room and where she went to sleep before the fire took place, Davis says. The differing statements led investigators to exhume Parrish's body with her husband's consent to confirm that she died as a result of the fire. Oh, that must be really, really awful for him and the family having to know that her body is going to be exhumed. But it makes me wonder, why are they needing to confirm that she died as a result of the fire? Surely an autopsy would have been done after the fire and they would have determined that from there. I don't know. An autopsy was performed in Fort Wayne, said Coroner Brad Bray, and the body was returned. Davis said the autopsy confirmed that Parrish died from carbon monoxide, as did the children. "We have no reason to believe they died of any other cause," he said. Davis said in his 26 years on the KPD, he is aware of no other exhumation taking place, and this one was done only after a great deal of deliberation. Davis said investigators discussed the option with the KPD administration, the KFD, prosecutor's office and coroner's office before deciding to move forward. "Out of respect for the family, we didn't make it known that we were doing it," Bray said, which I think is a perfect idea because you don't need people around watching this sort of stuff. It's so sensitive. "We didn't want a circus out there with helicopters flying overhead." Very good choice. We're at wayne.com, WANE.com, and it says here there was a reward offered in 2005 Indiana arson that killed 4. Now, what I'm going to do is have all the links in the description box below to all my sources so that you can do more investigation if you want to. I'm going to list all the numbers you can call or contact if you have any information, and also where you can go and get information about the reward as well. So all in the description box below. Authorities are hoping a new reward offer will help find out who set a central Indiana house fire that killed a woman and 3 children more than a decade ago. Kokomo police investigators recently began again reviewing evidence and witness statements from the February 2005 fire that engulfed the family's home in flames and smoke. Authorities determined the fire was deliberately set. And I must just say this was 2015. Detective Scott Purtee tells the Kokomo Tribune that someone knows what happened or happens. The $5,000 award is being offered through the Indiana chapter of the International Association of Arson Investigators. That's a big mouthful, I tell you. Try and say that 10 times. Smoke inhalation from the blaze killed 25-year-old Amy, her sons, 4-year-old Dakota and 2-year-old Caleb, and 11-year-old stepson Casey. Parrish's husband and father of the children escaped the fire and survived. Poor guy. Absolutely tragic for him and the rest of the family as well. Okay, we're popping over to WTHR.com. While they were sleeping. The night of February 20th, 2005 still haunts one Indiana man. While he and his family slept, someone set fire to their Kokomo home. Michael Parrish escaped, but the blaze took his wife and their 3 young children. In fact, I want to just say to be very kind and considerate in the comments below. If you do comment, knowing there is family that are going to be watching this video and possibly looking at the comments. So please be very kind. Parish's sister Laurie said it's a memory she can never escape. To us, it's still like it was yesterday, you know. I have had a hard time hearing fire trucks. I just cringe. I see the house, I see the flames coming out of the window, and it's like a flashback. On February 20th, 2005, fire engulfed the home on Bell Street. Amy, 25, along with her sons Dakota, 4, and Caleb, 2, and stepson Casey, 11, were all sleeping when the fire broke out. They were trapped and died in the fire. Authorities determined it was arson, and we must say again that there was unfortunately no smoke detectors in the house, so this is a good time to remind people to check them, and if you don't have them, then please get them. He thought he heard Amy say, "Mike, I smell smoke." He tried to get the windows broken. He ran into them, he hit them. They would not break, said Geneva Parish, Michael Parish's mum. The glass eventually shattered and Parish fell 2 stories. Although he got out, all he wanted to do was get back in. He kept saying, "Mum, I didn't mean to go out that window. I didn't mean to go out that window." I think he felt like when he went out that window, he failed because he couldn't save his kids after that. She says he didn't want to live after that. He kept telling them, "Just let me die, just let me die." And I kept telling him, "You've got a little girl that you have to raise." This story is just breaking my heart, so I really hope that this video gets distributed somewhere and shared around Indiana, and that someone sees it and comes forward or something. It's just horrible. Michael and Amy's only daughter Cheyenne was 16 months old at the time of the fire. She survived because she was sleeping at a friend's house that night. It's Cheyenne who this family lives for and grieves for now. She only has pictures to remember her mother, and I don't know how to put it in a nice way, but at least one child was saved so that they have something to focus on and live for. Mother's Day, her first Mother's Day without her mum, and we're at the cemetery putting flowers on her mum's grave, said Tita. What do you tell a little girl like that? What do you tell her? It's been nearly 3 years since they buried their loved ones, and the grief is still fresh, but so is the anger and the questioning, since there is still no arrest. And, you know, I don't know if the families could rest or feel any closure until the person is held responsible that does this. We thought, who would do that? There's little kids in there, said Tita. Michael Parish's mother says there is not a day goes by that they don't wonder who could do such a thing. Investigators in Kokomo say they haven't given up either. There's nothing we'd like more than to solve this case, or at least know what happened to give the family some closure, said Major Don Whitehead from the Kokomo Police. Although authorities found evidence of an accelerant at the house, there is still no trace of a suspect. There were lots of persons of interest at the time. Obviously, anyone who was in and around that home were looked at and are still looked at, said Whitehead. So we continue to work on the case as things come in. But obviously, as time goes on, the phone rings less and less. But you keep in mind it only takes that one phone call to make the difference. And that's why we do these videos. It could just take one person seeing this to make that one phone call. In the meantime, Michael Parish waits for the truth. He is a survivor at odds with his own survival. For a long time there we thought we were going to lose him because he couldn't face it, said Geneva Parish. Michael Parish recently returned to the house for the first time since the fire. Until that day he wouldn't even drive by the home. And should we have a quick look? It's 2016, or it was published 2007 and updated in 2016. I thrive on my memories. I mean, I have dreams of them at night, and sometimes I don't like waking up, he said. The cold reality that someone set a fire and killed his family isn't easy to live with. Michael Parish says the fact that it's a cold case makes it worse. My family never done nothing to nobody. They didn't deserve this, and it makes me very angry that the person who done it is still walking around out there, he said. What they've done is unforgivable. I don't know how someone could live with themselves carrying this information around. It's awful. Michael Parrish's sister says that at the least Cheyenne deserves to know. She deserves to know what happened to her family and why. That's the big question. Why? After years without answers, this family finally wants the truth. If you have any information about this case, call Crimestoppers at 262-TIPS or the Kokomo Arson Hotline at 317-457-2636. I will put this information in the description box below, and if you know something, please call and give information. Okay, we're at Kokomo Tribune or kokomotribune.com. Police revisiting 10-year-old quadruple homicide. Police are hoping to find the person who set fire to the family home in 2005. On February 20, 2005, a fire ripped through a house on South Bell Street, killing a mother and her 3 children. On that tragic day, Amy, her sons Dakota, Caleb, and stepson Casey all died of smoke inhalation. Investigators rule the fire was arson. The case remains unsolved, though, as the 10-year anniversary of the tragedy passed. Kokomo police detectives began reviewing the cold case, revisiting evidence and witness statements from 2005. Cold cases are reviewed annually as a matter of procedure, but investigators took special interest in this particular case since it involved a mother and her 3 children. So it's good to know that cases are reviewed annually and not just put on the shelf and forgotten. Police said Michael Parrish, Amy's husband, and the father of the children escaped the fire and survived. Obviously, someone knows what happened, said Detective Scott Purtee. Purtee, along with Lieutenant Shawn Haus, are urging anyone with any information to come forward. No matter how insignificant you may think it is, call us, he said. Along with reviewing old interviews and witness statements, the detectives are revisiting all the evidence collected at the scene and determining what may be sent to the state lab for review. Purtee said, with advances in DNA technology, we may have that one piece. Firefighters were called about 8 a.m. on the Sunday morning to the home in the 800 block South Bell Street, where they found the downstairs of the duplex engulfed in flames. At the time, Kokomo Fire Chief Dave Duncan said the fire started in the living room, according to a February 23, 2005 Kokomo Tribune article. Fire crews found the 4 victims upstairs. Within 20 to 25 minutes, the house was fully engulfed, said Purtee. Police are also profiling another case in Central Indiana, Crimestoppers, in hopes of getting tips. So some of you might want to look at that as well. This case is among 14 unsolved cases dating back to 1980 in Howard County. So, like I said, I'm going to put everything you need to know in the description box below. This information here of the Kokomo Police Department hotline, how you might be able to get the reward or how you qualify and all that information. So if you want to do any more investigating or reading, then you can go there. Now, how I found out about this case and decided that I want to cover it is there was a post in one of the Facebook groups that I follow, and this is by a family member, and I've tried to reach out to them, but I've had no success. If they do get back to me and have anything they want to update, I will follow up with another update video. But I wanted to read what she posted. As February 20th comes closer every year, our family is still so lost and confused. I would like to say it gets easier, but deep down I still cry when I think of how you 4 were taken away from us so tragically. And I can't lie and say I'm not mad anymore, because honestly I'm just as mad today as I was on that tragic day. Why and who is still left unanswered, and as each year passes I feel more angry. You was my aunt and my baby cousins, and I love you always and forever. I will never forget. I miss you guys so much. I miss all the fun camping and coming over to your house, going to dinners, spending holidays with you guys. I hope and pray one day, soon, we will have the closure we need. I hope every night this person goes to sleep and has nightmares and sees your faces. I hope it haunts them in every hour. I hope they cannot take it anymore and will turn themselves in. I wish I could bring you guys back and make it better. R.I.P. Amy, Casey, Dakota, and Caleb, until I see you again. Wow, that's a very emotional message. And I do hope that whoever set this has nightmares too, and I hope that they see these photos every night when they shut their eyes and it becomes too much for them. And let's share this video as far and as wide around Indiana as we can, and let's catch this culprit, or let's shame them into coming in and giving themselves up. Thank you very much for spending this time with me again. I really hope that this is one that gets solved. This one really, really breaks my heart. nzmissing@gmail.com if you want to nzmissing@gmail.com if you want to get hold of me or give me any case ideas. If you want to support the channel, buymeacoffee.com/nzmysteries. You can make a donation, a $3 donation. Otherwise, I can see you on Facebook, or I'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much for watching. I'm TJ. See you later.